Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today, I don't know why I'm doing this actually, because today I used the MOREvember palette and it is amazing, really amazing. I used this the other day, the one that I'm going to be showing you. I wanted to do sort of a full swatch video of the Morphe 35W palette that I got in my Beauty Bay order. I used it the other day and some of the colours don't swatch as well as the ones that I swatched. So what I thought I'd do a fair test. I would use a flat paddle brush, a clean one, and for each row I would put a lid on it on my arm, swatch it, pause it, talk about each one, and I thought it'd just be a bit more in-depth for you guys. I am going to be using my arm as the sort of tester, so I'm just going to put a tiny bit of, put a lid on it on my arm because it's a primer, and that is what I would use on my eye, primer or something on my lid. So it would be a true test, and for those that, I'd rather put it on primer because that's how I would use it, and that's how I would always recommend people who are putting or applying any sort of eyeshadow. I would say to use it. So I'm going to go with the top. I'm going to start with the top row and I'll do all of the colours along. There are 7 colours per row and there are 5 rows. The palette itself is, there's no mirror, which is fine because for £15.95 you get 35 large pan eyeshadows, and they are very large pan. I have to say though, this is quite soft that the palettes are in. This here, you can sort of push it. I don't know whether that's a bad thing or a good thing. Maybe you can take it out, I don't know. But I am going to start with the top row from left to right. Unfortunately there are no names, and I'll talk about the consistency of each of them. So the first one is a matte, and it's a matte cream, and you probably won't be able to see this swatch. It's very, very powdery. You can't really see that swatched on my skin because it is absolutely identical. So that's the first one, which you can't see. So that's there. The second one is a bit of a lighter one. Again, it's matte. And it's, again, a creamy colour. Again, you probably won't be able to see this because of my skin tone. Just to say, these are quite powdery, these matte ones. They're not overtly creamy. But I don't mind powdery eyeshadows. I've said that before. As long as you sort of tap them off, you're not really going to be struggling. So let me just tidy up the brush there. I don't know whether you can see the second one. It's just here. You can just make out a different colour. The third one is again a matte colour. So on this top row, out of the 7, it looks like 3 are matte, but I will tell you. So this third one is again like it's a warm peachy colour, but again could be used as a base colour. You will see it here, and again it is slightly powdery. They're not showing up very well on my arms, but that's because of my skin tone rather than the actual powder. Now that would be a really good transition shade. Next, it seems to be a satin. Yeah, definitely satin. Again, very powdery. It's like a satin peach. Very powdery, unfortunately. Yes, and this has got some shimmer to it. As in, yeah, it's definitely a satin colour. You can just make it out on my arm there. You can just see the sheen. That would make a really lovely highlighter, actually. Lovely peachy highlighter. I'm just going to take that all across my arm. You can sort of see it, but it's again still so light. There's the top one that you can't even see. Yeah, top one you can't see, next one you sort of can see, the next one you can sort of see, and then this one's a shimmery one. So this top row is not doing very well at the moment in terms of what you guys can see, but in terms of the consistency, they're all a similar consistency. And I'm going into another satin here, which is a darker, it's like a warm, I will show you. So we've done these four. We've got this one, which is again like a warm peachy colour. A bit darker than the first, and it's a satin. So I'm going to, yeah, definitely darker. You can definitely see this, and it is what I would call a true peachy colour. You can see it there. That's really lovely, actually. It is satiny, but it's not too shimmery, but it's certainly not a matte. There is a lot of mixtured colours in here. The next one is a matte, and I would say this is a lovely warm crease shade. Again, very powdery. Yeah, this is a matte shade, slightly orangier than the one above. The other one's got a pink undertone, or browner. Yeah, slightly browner. Lovely transition shade. Very nice matte. Has come out quite pigmented, really. It's really difficult to show you the pigment of these because of my skin tone. So on the eye, they're obviously a lot different. And the final one is a fawny beige, but it's a satin again, and it might even be quite shimmery as a satin. Again, quite powdery. I'm going to put that just underneath. Yeah, this is definitely more shimmery. It's, you can see it just at the bottom there. Mind, if I lean on anything, I get marks. So I've got all crap over my fingers as well, apparently. So that bottom one is like a shinier camely colour. Very pretty. So they're the first 7. So on to the second row. And this is the row with this lovely sort of pinky colour here and this sort of burnt orange. So starting at this end once again, I will do the swatches. So the first one that I come to is definitely a shimmery copper. It's like a coppery colour, and I can see hints of pink in there. So I'm assuming it's a bit duochrome actually. So I'll show you that one first. It's difficult for me to do it holding that. Definitely. This has so much pigment to it, and it is gorgeous. It's like a duochrome coppery, well, yeah, it's got gold in there. It's like it's just lovely. Really, really nice. I like this one a lot. See if I can catch the light. Yeah, you can sort of catch the light, and there's some gold in there. Next is a definite gold colour. Again, more shimmery than any of the others we've come across. The shimmery ones do tend to be a bit softer, still powdery, but definitely softer. This reminds me of Half Baked. It's a warm gold shimmer. You can see that there next to that other one that actually looks like a true copper. That's lovely. Again, highly pigmented. Didn't need a lot of work with the brush. It's a shame they're so powdery though. The next one is a light brown matte colour. It's got a hint of pink in there. This is slightly more difficult to apply. I'm finding it is a matte. Seems more powdery and less pigmented. The consistency of the shadows is just not the same across. You can see it's slightly patchy compared to those shimmery ones, which are just to die for. However, if you were using that in your crease, you're blending it out anyway. I'll just see how it blends. Yeah, rather well. Just using my finger to blend it, and it seems to, on top of the other one, it seems to blend nicely. So yeah, quite nice to blend. The next one is just the warmest shade in the palette. It's like a burnt orange, and it is matte. And this is a lovely colour for the crease. A lovely warm burnt orange. It is a matte once again, and once again it doesn't look too great. I'm just going to blend it with the blendy part of the brush. There you go. Sorry about Rupert. He's going mad. There must be somebody at the door. Must be the policeman? Postman. And next we have a satin pink colour, and it is a true baby pink. In fact, I would definitely say out of the whole palette, it's a really odd one. Well, that one and this one here, it's quite cool toned pink. It is a satin, so not as shimmery as some of the others. Still very powdery. And that looks like this. Has a hint of gold in there, actually. I don't know whether you can see. Yeah, at some parts when I move, it has a hint of gold in it. It's not the most highly pigmented shade, but I bet it would look really lovely all over the eye, or even as a highlight in a corner. It is really pretty. Then you have a matte brown shade here. I would say this is a dark camel shade. Very soft, that one. Definitely brown though. Yeah. True brown. Lovely. Actually, caramel. Beautiful. Out of all the mattes, that one's come out the best. I'm just going to use the blending side of the brush and just blend that over. This is the Makeup Revolution Iconic one. That's quite a nice brown. That would look really lovely in the crease with this colour here. Look at that. Those two together would be beautiful. And the final shade is a bright orange copper. Unlike the first shade, which has got sort of a pinky tone undertone to it, this is certainly orange. Wow, okay, yeah, that is just gorgeous. It is orange to the max. And again, with that, like with the other metallic-y shades, shimmer shades, it is very pigmented and comes out really well. So that is the second row. Row 3 has got a really interesting colour at the end, this lovely grey colour, and I really like the colours in row 3. I think out of, well, I'll show you them. There is a glittery one in here, and there are no mattes in this particular row. So the first one is a lovely terracotta shade, this one here, and it seems to have like a gold undertone to it. So you could probably use this lightly as a blush. This and the one next to it and the one next to that seem like blush colours. So I'll put that here first. Yeah, if you used this lightly as a blush, it would be stunning. And it's a, how can I explain it? Definitely got a red undertone with a gold on top. I'll see if I can't really show you that at all. That you can't see the shine on that. It's more of a satin though than a metallic. And then the one next to that is a lovely peach. It's a really gorgeous peach shade. Again, a satin shade. My apologies, by the way, for Rupert. He's been freaked out because the window cleaners are here. And it terrifies him each time. And I don't really know what else to do to keep him calm. So this is, yeah, it's much more of a peach shade. And it is, again, a satin. I really like that, actually. That would be so beautiful in the summer. And like I say, I bet you, if I'm going to just see if I can lightly use them as a blush. So if that's that first one, and I'm going to put it down on this side of my arm, here. Yeah, I mean, that would be so lovely as a blush if you blended that out. Look at that. And the same as the peachy one. Again, lovely. Okay, so there's some multitasking things here you can use. So you can use these. Just bear with me. He's so freaked out. And then the final one is actually the same shade as a few blushes that I have, and it's this one, and it's basically a pink, but it's got it's like a corally pink, and it's got a gold finish, and it is just like all of the ones that I believe would be like Orgasm, NARS Orgasm. I've got maybe 3 or 4 of these, especially Makeup Revolution. So I'm just going to put this here, and again, this would work so well as a blush. And here you can see, if I move my arm like this, you can see the gold running through that pink. All three of those would work amazingly as a blush. So I'm going to just take that, like, once again, like I did with that other one. That's what it looks like on the finger. And that is what it looks like blended out as a blush. So I would definitely use those, probably more so as a blush than a eyeshadow. The next one is a lovely indigo, but it's got gold, very fine glitters in it. I'll just show you that there. I don't know whether you can see the glitter in there. Probably not. And I'll see if that transfers. They're very finely in there. They're not chunky glitters like there is another one with chunky glitters. I'll see if that transfers. Wow, okay, so this one, oh, it's quite interesting actually. The glitters, it's very, very patchy. It might just be that it's very patchy, but I think it might just be the application of the primer. But I actually really like that colour. So I'm just going to try with my finger to see what that would look like if I patted it on rather than if I, yeah. Now if I was to use my finger, the glitter does transfer, but you can't see it on the camera. That does come out really well with the finger. I think it may just be me, why it was patchy and not how, I think it's the primer. So, although the others went on really smoothly, so I'm not entirely sure why. Next up, cleaning the brush each time, is another bronzy colour, bronzy copper. Again, it's a metallic-y shimmer. I haven't used this one at all. It seems to be more satin. It's not as soft as some of the other metallics. And I think this is a gorgeous colour. Again, this could be used as like a bronzer. Oh yes, this is gorgeous. So it looks like that. It is absolutely stunning. It is a lovely copper colour. Not as orange as the other one, not as pink as the other one. It is it's like a bronze. Definitely like a bronze more than a copper. I really like that one. Metallic finish. Really pretty, very smooth. Next up is, I think this is one of my favourite colours in palettes. And it's like a masala reddy brown. This one here, you can see that lovely deep red colour, and this is also a metallic colour. It reminds me of the pomegranate, what's it called, metallic pomegranate colour tattoo. Just going to put that here. Oh, this is interesting. It comes out far more brown. Goodness me, lots of fallout there. Comes out far more brown looking with a red, it's kind of got a red duochrome in it. Can you see that? That's so gorgeous. That is so beautiful. And the last colour, which is an odd colour in this, because it is absolutely cool toned, is this cool toned grey blue. And that looks like this. Oh, it's so nice. It's really pretty. It's like, it's a weird colour. It's like a silvery, it's like silver, like got a dark silver colour. It's really odd, isn't it? Really weird. Anyway, I best wipe these swatches off, but that is row 3. This is taking so much longer than I thought, but we'll get there. I'm just putting that same primer on again. Just letting that settle. So row 4, we are getting into the browns and the darker colours. There's another sort of burnt orange, but it's got slightly more terracotta tone to it to this one just here. So that's where I'm starting. And we are going for, and it is a, it's not quite matte. There is a tiny bit of satin-esque feel to it. It looks matte in the palette, but I don't think it is. No. As it applies, you can sort of see. I find I really like the satin ones. They apply so smoothly. Just look at that pigmentation. That's stunning. Gorgeous burnt orange brown. Love that. I love the way that I'm trying to describe colours, but I have no clue. The next one is a dark bronze. Definitely a dark bronzy colour. Quite brown undertone, like quite brown bronze. And this is more metallic, and I really love the metallics too as a finish. The darker ones seem to have a really good pigmentation quality to them. That is just stunning. Just look at that. There's a real depth to that colour. It's really chocolatey and stunning. I'm just trying to think, where would you use it? Like on the outer V probably, or if you were doing, you could do a one and done look with that quite easily. It reminds me of Bronze Moon or something. One of the, it reminds me of the, what is it? By Terry Ombre Black Stars. It reminds me of one of those. I can't remember the name. Then there is this is an odd colour. So it's a gorgeous chocolate brown. It's exactly what I would think chocolate brown would look like. It has the finest gold glitters in there. But it looks to be a satin with gold glitters. So we'll see how that works out. Oh, wow. Okay. That is just the most incredible colour. Look at that. These darker ones are swatching 100 times better than the others. But then, oh gosh, that pigmentation is ace. Gorgeous, true chocolate brown. It does have sparkles in there, but you can't see them. What the sparkles seem to do is make it metallic. Oh, I can definitely see them. They're so fine. I can see them in there. They're very, very fine. This is not doing my carpet any good. Goodness gracious. Next up is a lovely taupey bronzy colour. I really like this colour. I think I used this on my eyes the other day. It has a purpley undertone to it, like a mauvey undertone to it. It's gorgeous. Again, this is one of the soft metallics. Oh man, that is so pretty. Just look at that. Oh, I think that's my favourite. It's got a real warm tone, and I know that's what this palette is. It's a warm toned palette. It's just stunning. For the autumn time, these are like the ideal colours. So gorgeous. By the way, the reason I'm doing this is because oh dear. The reason I'm doing this is because I basically, I've got I'm getting all tongue-tied because Rupert just barked. The reason I'm doing this is because my subscribers are saying that they really like the palette from the swatches that I did, and I wanted to go a bit more in depth, just in case you're considering buying it. And I think it's really worth seeing each and every one of these. I couldn't find anything online that had this, so I thought I'd give it a real good swatch and review at the same time. So it's a long video, but it's a good video. Next we have another one of these sort of finely gold glittered colours, and it's like a dark caramel, dark fawny colour. But this one seems to be matte with chunky glitters rather than, not chunky, with fine glitters. Yeah, it's definitely got that matte consistency. And the glitter you can really see in this one. So it's got the same matte formula, a little bit powdery, a little bit patchy. But when you look at it close up, you can see the little gold glitters. And you know what? I actually really, really like that. What I love about these, the ones with the glitters, it seems to go right through the eyeshadow. And it's not just an overspray. It comes up with the powder. The glitters are complete micro glitters. I wish I could, yeah, if I move this a little bit, you can see them in there just slightly, the same as that one. But it's so hard to see it without seeing it in real life. I have to say, whenever I see things like this on camera, they never look as good as in real life. So the next two are the two sort of purpley colours that are in here. That one is quite cool toned. That one is much more warm toned, but they are beautiful. The first one is, it looks to be a red. A red with silver glitters. A red satin with silver glitters. So that is probably what it's going to show up as. Not silver, purple, not even silver. What am I talking about? Very, very powdery that was. Oh, okay. It is a very strange colour. Very powdery. So basically it is a, yes, it is a dark maroony aubergine. That's the colour. Aubergine. And it has purple, very light purple glitters in it. Really gorgeous. That is stunning. That is a lovely colour. And then we have the purple, which is at the other end. And although purple is ultimately a cool colour, this has definitely got some warm undertones to it. And I think it's a much needed colour in this palette. Oh, that's a shame. That is really patchy. It's a satin, but it's not a metallic, which I thought it was going to be. So that's what it looks like. But it's, again, an aubergine colour. That's much more dark. Oh gosh, what colour is that? Like a dark aubergine, and then this one's much lighter. It's beautiful. That whole row is my favourite. I think number 4 is my favourite, definitely. And the last row, I'm just going to put some more of this on. This, put a lid on it. It's so good because it's so hard to get them off after I've put them on my arm. I have to really work at that. So I'm just going to rub that in. And we're doing the final 7, which is the bottom row, the darkest row. And it's the one that I swatched in my sort of haul video, which is this. Oh, it's just stunning. It is a reddy bronze at the bottom left. It's just gorgeous. It is, I think, my favourite colour. Well, I don't know yet. Let me, some of the others were gorgeous on that row above. Oh, yeah. I mean, really. The most pigmented, the most buttery, the most smooth, the most metallic. Oh my gosh. Oh, look at it. It's like paint on you. That is stunning. And as you saw when I swatched it on my arm before, I didn't even have a primer on and it still looked like this. Just look at it. It is so smooth. It is just stunning. It is gorgeous. And that brush is now covered in it. Which is really weird. Okay, we have another matte, and it is a definite matte, and it's a matte brown, which you do need in most palettes. It's like a matte dark brown. Really lovely, actually. I'm hoping it's a bit smoother. Yeah, this seems a bit smoother than the other mattes. It looked to be. Goes really well with that colour. Bit smoother. A better pigment than the others. Yeah, I do like that matte brown. Really pretty, but it's just a normal matte brown. The next one is a colour that I just love in palettes. If I've got a matte palette, I mean, to team this one and this one together, for example, the one that I'm just about to show you, they just look so beautiful on the eye if you're doing just a matte eye. And this is a dark, reddy brown. Wow, Leah, that's such a good way of describing it. It's like it's the colour I want my hair, actually. It's like a red chestnut sort of colour. Oh my goodness. Okay. This is a matte. And it is very powdery. But it is just so rich in tone. It's just gorgeous. Yeah, that is just so nice. Still, that one at the top is just baffling me. They just look at it. Ah, lovely, lovely rich tones. It reminds me of like a chocolate red. I don't know what I mean. There's like I'm so bad at describing colours. This next one here is just a grey brown. Like a mucky, muddy brown. Yeah. And it is a matte again. There's more matte colours on this bottom row than any of the others. But these darker colours are... Yeah, this is slightly muddy. And it has got a grey tone in it. It's a good alternative to having black. It's very patchy though. Can you see that? That's not great. It's not the greatest swatch in the world. The next is a dark purple, and definitely an indigo, nearly black. It's a nearly black purple colour. Oh, again, really patchy. Such a shame. Smoothing it, it's blending out okay. Can't really tell that that's purple, but if you use it under your eyes instead of black, it's actually really lovely. If you put a black eyeliner on the top and then that colour underneath, it will make your eyes a lot bigger. I'm really running out of time now. The next one is a black with blue silvery sparkles, like the fine glittering again. It's a matte black. It's really lovely actually. Quite pigmented. These are much more powdery though. You can't see the glitters in there at all. I can't even see them on the swatch, so that's a bit disappointing. And then finally is a matte black. It does look to have sort of some glitters in there, but I just wonder if that's just from another one. The matte black. Okay, that's a lot smoother, but still very powdery. Doesn't look great. This one's got like green in it if you look at the colour next to that one. So yeah, I still just can't get over this one. This is the one that it's just amazing. Absolutely amazing. So that is a finer look. So you can't get it off. At the Morphe 35W, which means warm palette. It's $15.95 from Beauty Bay. Excuse how disgusting that lid is now. Let me just wipe that down. And it is stunning. And I will be doing some looks with it for sure. If there's anything that you want me to do with it, let me know. I could do easily an all over face look with it, especially with these three that are just blushers, definitely. I don't think I'd use them on my eyes. Anyway, I look forward to seeing you all in my next video. Let me know if you've bought this palette, if you've used this palette, and let me know what your favourite look is. And yeah, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll put the link down below for my giveaway because that's until the 10th of December for my birthday, not my birthday, my YouTube anniversary giveaway. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you in my next one, guys.